File interview questions and answers. Beginner means advanced. Introduction. A file is a collection of data stored on a storage device with a specific name and format. Files are widely used for data storage, configuration management, logging, data exchange, backups, application persistence. Common file types include COD, text files, binary files, CSV files, JSON files, XML files, log files. 1 to 20. File basics. What is a file? A file is a named collection of data stored on disk. Why are files used? Check. Persistent storage, data sharing, backups, configuration storage. What is file system? Structure used by operating systems to manage files. Common file systems? NTFS, FAT32, ext4, APFS. What is file extension? Suffix identifying file type. Common file extensions? Correct TXT, correct CSV, correct JSON. What is text file? File storing human-readable text. What is binary file? File storing non-text binary data. Text file versus binary file. Text files are human-readable. Binary files are optimized for machines. What is file path? Location of file in file system. Absolute path example, /home user file.txt. Relative path example, data file.txt. What is directory /folder? Container organizing files. What is file permission? Access control for files. Check read, check write, execute Linux permission example, chmod 755 file.sh. What is file metadata? Information about file properties. Common metadata? Size, created date, modified date. Amount of storage occupied by file. What is hidden file? File concealed from normal directory listing. 21 to 40. File operations. What is file opening? Preparing file for reading, writing. Python file open example. F equals open data txt. What is file reading? Retrieving data from file. File read example. F.read. What is file writing? Storing data into file. File write example. F.write. Hello. What is append mode? Adding data without overwriting file. Append example. Open a.text. What is read mode? Open a.text, R. Open a.text, W. What is binary mode? Open a.bin, RB. What is file closing? Releasing file resources. Why close files properly? Tick, prevent corruption, tick, free resources. What is buffered I/O? Temporary memory storage during file operations. What is stream? Continuous flow of data. What is file pointer? Current reading writing position. What is seek? fseek 0. What is EOF? End of file marker. What is line-by-line reading? For line and F. What is file deletion? os.remove a.text. 41 to 70. Advanced file handling. What is serialization? Converting objects into storable format. What is deserialization? Restoring objects from stored data. Common serialization formats? Check JSON. Check XML. Check YAML. Binary JSON file example. Name, John. What is CSV file? Comma-separated tabular data file. CSV example. ID, name, 1, John. What is XML file? Structured markup-based file format. XML example, user. What is log file? File storing application system events. Why are log files important? Debugging, auditing, monitoring. What is temporary file? Short-lived file used during processing. What is file locking? Preventing simultaneous unsafe access. What is concurrent file access? Multiple processes accessing same file. What problems occur with concurrent access? Corruption, race conditions. What is file compression? Reducing file size. Common compression formats? Zip, tar. What is archive file? File containing grouped compressed files. What is memory mapped file? File mapped directly into memory. What is random access file? File supporting direct position access. What is sequential access file? File read sequentially from start to end. What is file encoding? Character representation format. Common encodings? UTF-8, UTF-ASCII, UTF-16. What is Unicode? Universal Character Encoding Standard. What is file corruption? Damage causing unreadable, inconsistent file. What causes corruption? Check. Incomplete writes? Check. Hardware failure? Check. Concurrent access. Integrity verification value. Common checksum algorithms? MD5, SHA256. What is backup file? Duplicate copy for recovery purposes. What is restore process? Recovering files from backup. What is file synchronization? Keeping files consistent across locations. 71 to 100. Advanced file system and best practices. What is file upload? Sending file to server application. What is file download? Retrieving file from remote system. What is MIME type? File content type identifier. Common MIME types? Text plain, application JSON, image PNG. Extracting structured information from files. What is file validation? Checking file correctness and safety. Common file validation checks: size validation, extension validation, content validation. What is file injection attack? Uploading malicious files. How to secure file uploads. Quote, validate MIME type, restrict extensions, scan for malware. What is directory traversal attack? Accessing unauthorized file system locations. Directory traversal example. Etc. Password document. What is cloud file storage? AWS S3. Google Cloud Storage. Azure Blob Storage. What is distributed file system? File storage spread across multiple machines. Examples of distributed file systems? HDFS. Hadoop distributed file system. What is file caching? Temporarily storing file data for faster access. What is file indexing? Organizing metadata for faster search. Common file interview topics. Check file I/O. Check permissions. Check serialization. Check encoding. Concurrency. Common file handling problems. Check permission denied. Check encoding mismatch. Check resource leaks. Best practices for file handling. Close files properly. Validate file inputs. Handle exceptions. What is try with resources in Java? Try file reader F equals new file reader a.text. What is buffered reader? Efficient text reading mechanism. What is asynchronous file I/O? Non-blocking file operations. What is large file processing? Handling huge datasets efficiently. How to optimize large file handling. Check. Stream processing, chunk reading, buffering. What is file fragmentation? File data scattered across disk. How to become strong in file handling. C. Practice file I/O daily. C. Learn serialization formats. Understand encoding deeply. Biggest file interview concept: efficient and safe persistent data handling. Key file interview focus: file I/O, permissions, encoding, serialization, and concurrency. Why are files important in programming? Files provide persistent storage and enable data exchange across systems and applications. File interviews focus on check file I/O operations, check file permissions, check serialization and parsing, check encoding and Unicode, check file systems, check concurrency and locking, check file security, check large file optimization. Key idea: strong developers understand efficient file handling, persistent storage management, encoding, concurrency control, and secure file processing techniques.